Oh, hello. Welcome to Mailbag Monday at Witty Octopus Vapor's YouTube channel. I'm Luke Moore, and I'll be reading the mail and answering questions today. Apparently, one of our viewers actually was able to round up a stamp and send us some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and read that out loud now. Dear Witty Octopus, I have a few questions that I hope maybe you can answer. If you write a book about failure and it doesn't sell, is it a success? What was the best thing before sliced bread? Why does Donald Duck wear a towel when he comes out of the shower, even though he never wears pants? Whatever happened to preparations A through G? Why do people point to their wrist when asking for the time, but not to their crotch when they ask where the bathroom is? Thank you for your time and consideration in answering my questions. Sincerely, John. Well, that's quite a few questions there, John. So let me start at the beginning, and we'll work through these one at a time. If I write a book about failure and it doesn't sell, is it a success? No. You wrote the book about failure. That doesn't mean you wanted the book to be a failure. Therefore, because the book did not sell, and because it was a failure, the book is a failure, not a success. Success is when something succeeds, not when it fails. Now, if the stated goal of the book was to fail and not be about failure, then perhaps it would have succeeded at being a failure. That seems pretty clear. What was the best thing before sliced bread? I think that is just too obvious. The best thing before sliced bread was bread, because bread is amazing. And for there to have been something better than sliced bread, it would have had to have just been bread. So, again, seems like a pretty obvious answer. Why does Donald Duck wear a towel when he comes out of the shower, even though he never wears pants? This one's a little bit more complex, and I could get in depth with the mating rituals of ducks. But for our younger audience out there, I think I'll refrain. Instead, let me put this in very simplistic terms that I think are pretty straightforward. When Donald Duck gets out of the shower, he is wet, and therefore his natural feather plumage is all matted down, and therefore certain important bits that might be in the crotchal region are a little bit more apparent. Whereas when he dries off, his plumage is all fluffy, the important bits in the nethers are all well tucked away and hidden in his lovely white plumage. Therefore, when he isn't wet, he has no reason to cover up his nether region. I appreciate the little bit more complex answer there. I was a little bit concerned after the first two questions that we weren't going to get anything difficult. Whatever happened to preparations A through G? Again, going back to the question about failure, preparations A through G were all failures in the lab, and preparation H was the first one in the letter series to actually function as intended. So, again, seems pretty obvious. Why do people point to their wrist when asking for the time, but not to their crotch when they ask where the bathroom is? Okay, John. That's like 2 out of 5 questions there that pertain to the crotchal region, which I think is a technical term. And I'm a little concerned. First off, I thought it was normal to point to your crotch when asking where the bathroom was. That's the normal behavior of the people in my company. And why wouldn't you? You're pointing to the bodily part that performs the function that you would want to use for it in the bathroom. Now, if somebody was asking for the restroom, they might point to a part of their body that needs rest, like their butt. But that might get confusing too, because if they're asking for a bathroom and not a restroom, your butt has other bodily functions as well. So, that concludes the answers that I have from Mr. Baker. I hope that you choose to send us messages in the future. Apparently, a lot of you struggle to find stamps, and in order to facilitate more questions in the future, we are opening up an email address that you can send your questions to. That is mailbag@wittyoctopusvapors.com. We'll have that up on screen, as well as in the description below. So please feel free to send us your questions, and we'll answer them on next Mailbag Monday, where we answer your questions on any day but Monday. Oh, hello. I'm Luke Moore, owner and founder of Witty Octopus Bakery, and I just wanted to sit down and talk to you a little bit about my company and how the FDA regulations that are being pushed right now are really going to deeply impact myself, my family, and the family of my employees, and the families